What happens to the human body when every social tie is instantly severed? Can absolute crushing isolation actually cause a person's DNA to physically mutate? Following the spell that closed out his last chapter, Peter lacks a support network because, to the rest of the world, he literally never existed. Beyond the standard superhero marketing, Peter is undergoing a biological shift. His cells are rewriting themselves into an evolution he may not be able to control. His former best friend, Ned Leeds, is now miles away at MIT. Ned built a mobile tracker app to locate Spider-Man, completely unaware he is hunting down the exact person who used to sit next to him. Every anchor keeping Peter grounded has been completely wiped away. He is living in an absolute void, and his own biology is stepping in to fill that vacuum. He spends his nights in a tiny, claustrophobic apartment, keeping a police scanner running at all hours simply to drown out the silence. The streets outside offer no relief. The NYPD is aggressively policing superpowered individuals, treating vigilantes like active threats. The criminal underworld is surging to match that aggression. Lonnie Lincoln, better known as the mob boss Tombstone, brings a massive, brute force physical threat to the city. Then there's Mac Gargan. After years in prison, he's back on the streets hunting Peter inside a mechanized, heavily armored scorpion suit. Add to that Boomerang, an assassin lobbing unpredictable, explosive weaponry at a hero who is already running on zero sleep. To top it off, the Department of Damage Control, led by Bill Metzger, has designated Spider-Man as a high-priority criminal target. With zero allies, a relentless gauntlet of assassins, constant police pursuit, the environment is a physiological pressure cooker, and Peter has nowhere to vent the steam. Out of pure desperation, Peter finds himself working alongside Frank Castle. Operating out of a converted industrial houseboat and deploying his heavily armed battle van, Castle introduces Peter to a gritty, lethal approach to crime fighting. The two form a twisted, toxic older brother dynamic. Castle's comfort with extreme violence begins bleeding into Peter's own methods. He also crosses paths with Jean DeWolf, a tough NYPD detective quietly seeking leads on the ninja cult known as the Hand. Aligning with Castle's lethal methods and coordinating with the NYPD forces Peter to compromise on his previous heroic ideals. This internal friction only accelerates his physical breakdown. Eventually, the internal stress snaps. Peter's powers undergo a dark evolution. His eyes physically mutate, turning entirely pitch black during intense confrontations. This medical visualization demonstrates the internal chaos. His nervous system is flooded with massive, uncontrollable spikes in adrenaline and aggression. When the amygdala overloads during these episodes, Peter loses his emotional regulation. He stops fighting like a neighborhood hero and starts hunting like an apex predator. The mutation forces entirely new glands to grow in his wrists, allowing him to generate and shoot organic webbing directly from his own body. The trauma has bypassed his mind and rewritten his anatomy. His body is literally mutating to ensure he survives in a city that has rejected him. This chart illustrates the production's clever misdirection. For months, Marvel fed leakers fake data points about massive multiverse storylines. But when you strip away those canary traps, you find a tight, contained psychological thriller. Producer Kevin Feige eventually confirmed this direction, noting that the sheer scale of this movie comes from emotional weight rather than worlds exploding. The narrative focuses on the hard transition from youth to a dark, isolated adulthood, where the primary horror is internal. By stripping away the high-tech suits and intergalactic allies, the creators have managed to build a faithful, street-level adaptation focused on the character's classic roots. Behind the mask, there is a young man pushing himself to the absolute physical limit. There are no Avengers coming to bail him out. He is facing a threat that he cannot punch into submission, the reality of his own breaking mind.